guys today. You know I love making a good video. And you know what, guys? My job is stressful. Construction is stressful. It's fun to just break away a little bit, do a fun video, hopefully have some fun, teach you guys something. So today I have an idea to share with you the insider construction language. We have our own language, guys. You hear us talk about stuff when we're on job sites and you're like, what are they talking about? Or you think you know what we're talking about, but you really don't. So check out this video and let me show you what I mean. So to start off, here's one that you will hear a lot. Where's my tape? You're gonna hear that a lot, guys. What do you think it means? Yeah, no. A tape, what we're actually talking about, is a tape measure, guys. It's just too long to say tape measure all the time, but you hear us a lot. Where's my tape? I need a tape. Who touched my tape? Bring me a tape. Got a tape? You'll hear all that kind of stuff. That's what we're talking about, tape measure. Second up is a word, again, you'll hear a lot, especially if you're doing a new construction house, we're finishing out a basement. You'll hear us say something like, we'll just frame it up. Nope, that's not what we mean by framing. When we're talking about framing, we're talking about this. It's the fitting together of pieces to give a structure support and shape. Typically, it's done in wood or steel framing. Next up is mud. What do you think we're talking about? You are weird. No, mud is actually the compound we use when we're working with drywall. It fills in the seams, the cracks, any holes that you guys might have. Mud. Not only are we messing around with mud, we're also going to be ripping things. What does it make you think of? No, nice try. Ripping is actually a cut with a piece of wood. So you take a long piece of wood, say we had a 1x4 piece of wood, and we're cutting it parallel to the grain, so longwise. We'll say, oh, we just need to rip that piece of wood down to make it fit around your window. It just means we're trying to change the dimension of the wood sort of in the lengthways. Now here's a little catch here. Ripping in construction can also mean the loosening of soil in the ground. So if you've got a big machine that will tear up the ground, that's also called ripping. But when you're working with us and we say we're gonna rip it down, we're referring to wood. A lot of times homeowners ask us questions about the process and we might give you an answer like, oh, we'll handle that at trim. That doesn't really tell you, but what do you think it is? Yeah, it's got nothing to do with cutting hair. Trim, when we say trim, we're referring to a phase in the project where we add the wood, the trim pieces around windows, doors. A lot of times we'll include cabinets in the trim phase. So that's what we're referring to, is like trim around the windows, your baseboards, your crown molding, that kind of stuff. Trim. And during the project, we will most likely ask you for more than one punch list. You've got some anger issues, don't you? Yeah, no, punch list is when we're asking you to make a list of things that you want us to address on your project. So usually it's towards the end of a project or at the end of each phase of a project, we'll have you walk through, make a list of things you want touched up, if you see something that's not quite the way you want it, or if you have any questions. We call that a punch list. We'll be asking you for punch lists, but we're also gonna ask you for draws. Easy, cowboy, we're not going Wild West here. A draw is when we are asking the client for money. So we give you a draw schedule in our contract. It just means us asking for more cash so we can keep working on your project. And lastly, you will hear us talk about subs a lot. No, we're not talking about sandwiches, although I will split that with you later. When we say sub, we are actually talking about our subcontractors. So we have some guys that are considered in-house, meaning they work on payroll, work with us all the time, they're employees of the company. Others are subcontractors. So oftentimes like painters or tile guys, they'll be subcontractors. They're hired by us to come in and work. So when we say sub, we're not talking about a sandwich, we're talking about dudes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that silly little illustration. You gotta have some fun sometimes, right? So next time your contractor says, my sub just called and said we're done framing, he lost his tape, but he's heading to HD to buy some mud and some trim for the windows, which we're gonna rip down and make work, and after that, then we'll need another punch list and a draw, you should know exactly what he's talking about.